Yo, what's going on, everybody? This is Dylan Talk Sports. My name is Dylan. In today's video, if you've seen the news, there's been some kind of debate. I don't know how accurate it is, but there was a reporter that kind of talked about Davante Adams possibly wanting out of the Las Vegas Raiders. And right now, the Raiders are 1-2. They look like an okay team. It's just the offense is not clicking. There was also a tweet that kind of came out, kind of quoting of something that Davante Adams did say. It was along the lines of how he just doesn't see this working out in Vegas, and he may want out. There was also 6 teams that were tweeted out that he could possibly go to. Those 6 teams were as followed: the 49ers, the Cowboys, the Packers, the Bengals, the Browns, and the Lions. That's right, I said the Browns. So what I wanted to do as a Browns fan, obviously, I wanted to discuss, is there a chance the Browns could trade for Davante Adams? We're going to go into the cap space and the trade assets that we could possibly use and debunk if this trade could happen. So without further ado, if you're going to enjoy, make sure, as always, make sure you do drop a like. If you're brand new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe. But without further ado, let's get into it. Okay, let's go ahead and start off with discussing the Browns roster. Solely the offense. The defense we already know is elite right now. The offense, that's where Davante Adams is going to be. We look at this wide receiver room. How can he kind of innovate himself to be a elite playmaker within that wide receiver room? Well, number one, he's already an elite wide receiver. Number two, he'd be playing alongside another top 10, 15-ish wide receiver in Amari Cooper. Based off the stats right now when it comes to separation, Elijah Moore is right now number 1 in separation as a receiver. Now I know the catches, the yards, that doesn't really show it, but when it comes to the Pro Football Focus stats, they have shown that he is the number 1 best receiver when it comes to getting separation away from his defensive backs. And you also have DPJ, so that right there, you got a wide receiver room that would be loaded. Now, what was one of the things that Davante Adams said? He said he just wants to be somewhere that has a winning culture. Last year with the Vegas, they kind of had sort of a winning culture. They didn't really do that well. They didn't make the playoffs. This year they came in, they were hoping possibly they could have winning culture, and things have just not looked that way. I think one of the big things that he was happy for whenever he went to Vegas last year, obviously he's close to the family, but he also got to play with his college quarterback, Derek Carr. Derek Carr went ahead and 40-ounce bounced his way over to New Orleans, and now Davante Adams is like looking around this team like, I don't like any of you. I don't want to be here. Now with this Browns team, what kind of things would stand out to him that says, I want to be there? A lot of people want to make jokes. They want to say, why would you want to go to Cleveland? What's in Cleveland? I'll tell you what we have. We got a good football team right now. The defense is playing out of their minds, flying around, getting sacks, getting picks, tackles for loss, shutting down teams for 3 and outs. So elite defense, check. I know it doesn't really matter, but special teams, a field goal kicker that can make field goals, check. And then getting to the offense, like I said earlier, wide receiver room is stacked. He's not going to be double teamed every single time. Amari Cooper's going to have to take some double teams. Elijah Moore might take some double teams. Marquise Goodwin running down the field with the speed he has, he's going to have to take some double teams at times. So Davante Adams is pretty much going to be I would say at least 50% of the time, he's going to be one-on-one. And you have an elite quarterback right now with Deshaun Watson. I know people are not going to call him elite because he has not looked elite. I think he's progressing now. He's starting to understand this offense. He's getting better. He will blossom as the season goes on. And I don't know about you, but any Deshaun Watson is a hell of a lot better than Jimmy Garoppolo. Now let's kind of get into the cap space. I'm going to put the website link down in the description, overthecap.com. You can see it up there. I'll put it down in the description. It'll be the first link down there. Basically, it kind of shows all the cap space for the teams if you've never seen this website before. But you can see right here, we got the Browns at $34 million in cap space right now for the season. They have the second most cap space. And people were wondering about how the Browns could make this trade. Let's go ahead and take a look at his contract. We have right here his entire contract from 2022 to 2026. His contract is funny because when you look at the contract, obviously 2022 is gone. 2023 is the year we're looking at. This cap number of $14 million, we can work with that. It's the $25 million of the next year that kind of is hurting us. And this is going to be a red flag for a lot of GMs if they were to try to trade for him. Because a lot of GMs, they're going to look at this contract and they're going to say, the $14 million this year, I can work with that. The $25 million next year, we might need to restructure that a little bit. But then once you restructure that, then you're looking at obviously probably 50+ million on each of the 25 and 26 year. Now the big question mark, very big question mark, is if Davante Adams were to make a trade or take a trade to somewhere else, whether it be, like I said, the Browns or maybe one of the other teams that were on the list like the Lions or etc., would he take some money away? Especially if the fact was, hey, look at this team here. This team, whatever it may be, is 5-3, 6-2, 7-1, and right now the Raiders at that point would be 1-7, 2-8, whatever it may be. Would he look at that team and say, I have the opportunity to go here. This team has a realistic shot to win a Super Bowl, add me to that roster, and we are probably Super Bowl favorites. I can go win a Super Bowl right now. Oh, hell yeah, I'm going to sacrifice a little bit of money. Now, do I think he's going to sacrifice money? Hell no. This guy is just like any other receiver in the league. Every player in the NFL is going to be this way. They're greedy. Aaron Rodgers is the one exception, and Tom Brady over all those years. They sacrifice a little bit of money because they realize if I want to keep pieces around me, I need to sacrifice a little bit of money for the other guys to get paid. Now let's kind of get back over to the Browns side of things. Like I said, $34 million right now for this year. A lot of people, and we speculated this in a forum video I made when I talked about Chris Jones possibly coming to the Browns. That has been debunked. He signed the one-year contract with the Chiefs. But the Browns right now are $34 million. Next year, going into next year, we are at $6 million. I want to say about a week and a half, 2 weeks ago, we were like, I want to say $10 to $15 million over the cap space. We've made some more moves, got back up under the cap hit. So we're going to be good to go for next year. The plan is they want to take this $34 million, roll it into next year, and then right there, you already have $40 million for next year. If the Browns were to make this trade, you have that $34 million right now. You'd be taking a $14.74 million cap hit. That right there already takes you down to about 19 million, 20 million, somewhere in there. You can still roll that over in the next year, have about $26 million. And then the thing that Andrew Berry, the general manager of the Browns, does very well is he understands what contracts can I restructure, what contracts can I roll into the next few years, and I have a plan for when the chaos presumes. I have a plan. Now, whatever that plan may be, I don't know, because there's a lot of contracts, and I go here to 2025 to where like we're already at $48 million now. Does that mean it's probably just a lot of the core players are signed that long, which is a good thing. You want to keep your core players signed to the near future. And it's mainly your kind of one-year guys, your small 2-year rookie deals. Those are the people that are going to be probably not here when the time comes at that date. And the only reason it kind of seems like a red flag is you look at all these other teams, $282 million in cap space is the projected for that year. Obviously, I don't think that's going to happen. It'll probably be up around 250, 260. I mean, right now we're at 224. Next year, 256, 282. I don't see it getting there. I think this 256 is going to be more for 225 or 2025 year. And you look at all these contract or all the cap space for all these other teams. Everybody else is up around like 100 million, except for about a handful of teams. Now, for the Browns in general, if they made this trade, could this be? How do I want to put this? Would this be the biggest trade we have made? And what I mean by that is this bigger than Odell Beckham Jr. trade? Because Odell Beckham Jr., when we traded for him, we thought, holy fuck, we are going to the bowl. Little did we know that wasn't going to work out that well. Did we get close in the divisional round against Chiefs? Yeah, but Odell wasn't on the field during that. But I seriously think Davante Adams coming to the Browns would be the biggest move, the best move the Browns fans have probably seen in forever. Now, before I wrap it up, do I think this is going to happen? If I had to give her like a percentage chance, I'd say like 5% chance. Will Andrew Berry maybe look into it, see what the possibility of it could be? I'm thinking he's looking into everything that's out there. Will he pick up the phone call or pick up the phone and make a call to Vegas? I don't think it's going to happen unless Vegas openly comes out and says like, hey, we are shopping Davante Adams. Now, if that were the case, what would the Browns give up? Obviously, we need to look at draft capital. What do we have left? The Browns obviously gave up their first round picks from the Deshaun Watson trade, their first round for last year, this year, and next year. So they can't give away first round picks. Could they give away a second round pick? That is still enticing to some teams these days. So my offer would be this. It sounds a little crazy. You might not like it, but it's something that would have to be done. Let's do, of this upcoming draft, we have our second round pick, our, let's say, a 6th round pick, and we're going to have to throw a player in. You be the choice of Donovan Peoples-Jones or Greg Newsome. It has to be one of those two. Those two are like the pieces that they just kind of get thrown around. And it would kind of come down to what Vegas wants. Do they want somebody to replace Davante Adams and take Donovan Peoples-Jones? Or would they rather beef up their defense and take Greg Newsome? And it hurts me to say that because I love Greg Newsome and I also love Donovan Peoples-Jones. But ultimately, if it came down to the Raiders said, give us Donovan Peoples-Jones and those draft picks and you can have Davante, shake the hand. Shake the hand immediately. DPJ, I wish you luck in Vegas if that were the case. because I would love to have Davante Adams on this team. Now, ultimately, is this trade going to happen? Probably not. It's not going to happen. But if it did happen, it's fun to kind of imagine and hope for these things. But ultimately, that's all I got to talk about for today's video. As always with these types of videos, if you did go on to enjoy, make sure you do drop a like. It's always appreciated if you do so. If you stayed to the end of the video and you had anything you kind of wanted to add for your opinion, leave it down in the comment section down below. If there's any facts or anything I left out that I should have kind of put into the video, and you want to go and drop your opinion down in the comment section down below, feel free to do so. If you are brand new to the channel and you want to go ahead and hit that big red subscribe button, don't forget to do so, and make sure you hit that little notification bell to be notified the second I post. But without further ado, this has been Davante Talk Sports. Have a great rest of your day. Peace.